So, of course, to my amazing people, my name is Edgo Diambo, a freelance journalist from Nairobi, Kenya. We're keeping that is the community of Kibera informed, and today I'm so happy to have one on board that is one of the aspiring, that is Member of Parliament Kibera constituency, Honorable Kennedy ODERO. So I'll just have one of brief interview with him just to get and to understand exactly why Kibera and the reason as to why you feel like indeed he might be one of the people so far that Kibera is calling. So Mheshimiwa, karibu kabisa.
Thank you very much, Edgar. First of all, I appreciate this. My name is Kennedy Ahomo Odero. I have been born and raised in Kibera. So Kibera is home. So for us to change home, we need to have the mindsets of changing home. And that is why I want to run for the MP seats, that is 2027, and to see if we can indeed drive Kibera to be self-sustainable the way it used to be some years back. Yes.
One of the key things we have seen exactly you happens to share this that indeed come 2027, and I think through your social media handle, you've been there championing for this opportunity. Why Kibera? Like people will ask you why Kibera.
Okay. First of all, thank you for that very interesting question. You see, Kibera is basically in my heart. I am a born Kibera guy. I actually got raised at Katokera, if you know Katokera very well. So kila kitu kuhusu Kibera najua. It's only that I never used drugs while I was in Kibera, though my main focus was one time once I'm well off, I can come back home and change home. So I want the opportunities and the ideas that I have to work for my Kibera people. Because if I empower home, I know I'll get the blessings that I'm looking for. Yes.
So far you talked about Honorable Kennedy Odero. You talked about exactly empowering and also changing exactly that is Kibera. You talk about issues to do with the drug. I think one of the key things that currently most of the people that is within Kibera, young people are really into it are drugs. What are the mechanisms that indeed you feel like indeed if in case the people of Kibera give you this chance, you might change exactly and also tackle the issue to do with the drugs that is within there is Kibera?
That's a very, very important question. I'll actually give you a sad story, but don't cry. But this is very, very dear to me. You see, while I schooled at Kibera Primary School, I had friends, not close friends, but those who used to be best performers in school. You see, I realized and I noticed some of those students whom we used to school with. One of them actually was a very best footballer. He was shot dead. He was shot dead is not because that he was not a good person, but it's because he indulged himself with bad people. And once you have a bad group, definitely you're gonna be doing bad things. You see? So I will not blame what he did to do bad things, but I'll ask myself, why did he choose to do drugs? No young person will just wake up and say, okay, let me start taking shisha or let me start taking those cocaine or all those things. You see, it is because of depression. And how does a youth become depressed? When they lack opportunities. When a youth lacks opportunity, they want to console themselves with anything possible. But the problem is that the only thing that they're finding to console themselves in that state is drugs. So how am I going to champion fighting these drugs? First of all, is to help change the mindset of the youths through giving them opportunities. Once you empower youth to be able to be self-sustainable, there is no need for them to find relaxation in taking drugs. You get that? So I'll try and work with already established bodies, if they are there, to be able to harbor youths who have already been affected by drugs, teach them and even try to clean them, clean their system so that they become good, responsible citizens. The big problem that we have in Kibera is that there are no institutions that protects the mind of a youth. That is why you find when there's no job, a youth has nothing else to do if he's not stealing or taking drugs. If you don't have friends who can empower you to be better, how will you be able to survive everything? There is no way. You get that? So what is the best or one mechanism that I'm going to use? One thing is we either want to partner or I'm going to partner with already established, if there are NGOs that are covering this, I'm going to try and give out proper solutions in a way we can be able to orientate and help youths who have already been affected by drugs and also help solve this drug problem by knowing the roots as to where they are coming from. You see, so I pray that once we have this seat, we're going to set up policies and set up structures that are going to be their main aim is to be able to help these depressed youths. Listen to their plights. Youths do not have people to listen to them. Politicians who come, they go and parade, they chant, they talk about political parties, but they never talk about the real issue. That is that youth whom they are using. A youth needs empowerment. A youth needs opportunity. I don't think any youth will just wake up and start taking drugs. It is because of lack of opportunity. That's why they're trying to console their depression by taking existing solution, and it's a bad solution. Yes, please.
So, Mheshimiwa, the other thing,
Yes.
Kennedy, I think most of the people are currently, there is an issue to do with people talk about exactly unemployment, and people talked about exactly infrastructure. I think the other side, I love to exactly you tackled one by one. Now, let me talk about exactly the issue to do with people are talking about exactly that last time back then during the reign of former, we had like the former, that is the area MP, that is Ken Okoth. We were on the track when it comes to exactly seeing exactly the constituency development. In terms of development, we were ranked somewhere. But unfortunately, for now, the current rain, we have not been like you know been we have not been seen exactly at that where we were back then. We personally, from your side, do you think indeed in terms of development you are able to exactly take Kibra to that level that it was during exactly the reign of former, the late, that is Ken Okoth, where we were seen exactly somewhere in terms of the development, we were rated somewhere, but unfortunately for now we are not being rated. Are you able to indeed, in terms of the development, make sure that indeed we are seen somewhere? And what
That's
are exactly the mechanism you're going to use to make sure that indeed, in terms of development, we will be as one of the constituencies that will be on the map and will be like highlighted as on top.
Thank you very much. I love that question. And now that you've mentioned regarding Kenokot, I'm basically a beneficiary of Kenokot CDF. Through him, I was able to finish my high school. So first of all, may he rest in peace. And I will say, yes, you're very right. During his reign, we used to see certain development that we can visualize, we can see the impacts, and you can see even our mothers being very, very happy from that. You see, after his demise, then things changed. I don't know what happened. I'm not going to talk about the previous MP or the current MP, but what I'll say based on what I've seen is that we lagged behind. And this is because there was now irregularities in regards to funds being allocated for development. You see, there is no audit that has been done to really ask questions. This money that was set for this development, did it reach the source? And if indeed, are we seeing that it has happened? You've also mentioned something regarding how will I empower the youths or empower our constituency. One thing I champion for is a skill-based learning. You see, currently we're looking at artificial intelligence. AI is taking over. If you look at the traditional way of education, it's very, very much far-fetched. We cannot use the old system to try and bring change with the new generation. So what we must do is try to embrace the AI that is currently taking over. How are we going to do that? Is through trying to find ways to impact and empower these youths. How can you empower these youths? There are some youths who are very, very good in regards to things regarding music, art. How can we help these youths make sure that they can monetize their art? Is through having system that can help them know how to monetize their art. I've seen one good friend of mine also is called Footworks. He's doing a very, very brilliant job. You see, that is one way of an empowerment to which you can empower someone's spirit and they become self-sustainable. But now we need to make sure that there are so many youths who have different sort of abilities and hobbies and skills. We need to have a structural system that will be able to embrace the skills they have. If someone is into masonry, we need to have ways to be able to help them. If there's a lady who's a seamstress, we need to have system on how they can even it's like a vocational training to which they can perfect their skills and get to employ themselves. So what I'll be able to champion in, I'm going to be able to work with already existing or established bodies. If they are not there, then we can establish some. We are going to look at ways in which we will empower youths for them to be self-reliable, self-sustainable, and that is through introducing artificial intelligence to them, being able to let them know how to do things regarding finance, because everything is all about finance. If you cannot keep up your budget, do you think you'll survive? You can never survive, right? So we need youth to be self-sustainable, and we are going to make that possible through providing solutions to their current predicament. One, teach them regarding finance. Two, be able to support their, I would say, their hobbies or their interests. If someone is a seamstress, how can we be able to support this person? Through the existing bodies. If someone is a masonry, if someone can become a carpenter, we are able to have vocational training that will only focus on making sure that what they love doing make them make money once they're done with school. So we need to embrace change by empowering these young youths. That's what I'm going to champion to.
Every time that honorable, that is Mheshimiwa, every time that we have an issue or we have a problem somewhere, when a mistake happens,
Yeah.
there's somebody to be blamed. Who do you think, in terms of exactly what is happening within Kibera, who do you think we should be blamed? Who should be blamed exactly when it comes to issues and the voices that are being raised in Kibera? Who do you think is to be blamed? Are the people of Kibera to be blamed for electing their leader, or the leader who are elected to be blamed in terms of exactly development and also curbing exactly all that you have talked about?
That's a very tricky question. But what I'll say is this: I blame myself. Why do I take the blame? It is because I did not wake up early to try and fight for our rights. I realized it too late, but I think it's not too late. So what I'll do is this: I've taken the blame of the underdevelopment that has happened in Kibra, but I want to assure our Kibera people, if given a chance, I want you Kibera people to ask yourself this question. Look at the current existing structures. Are they saving our kids? Are they saving our mothers? Look at our fathers. Then you, as my Kibera people, we need the solution. We need to be able to have ways to develop ourselves. First of all, yes, I take the blame of the underdevelopment that has happened. I don't blame any political party. I don't blame any citizen, but I'll say this: I blame myself for not vying for this seat early. Maybe you might have looked or gotten a certain change. So what I want to assure our Kibera people is this: I am your son. I'm the son of the soil. I have struggled with you. I've gone through all the thick and thin with you. It is time for us to take the mantle into our own hands and be able to uproot our Kibera. Kibera development is not just about the structures. It is the mindsets of the youths. It is the mindsets of the young kids who are coming up, and also is the mindset of our fathers. So we must make the change possible, and I'll make sure that that happens. Yes.
Mheshimiwa, one of the key questions I think most of the people will also be asking themselves, as much as you have declared yourself that you indeed come 2027, you will be on the ballot to make sure that indeed the people of Kibra get elected, you are elected as that is the area MP, so that you can also tackle some of the issues that so far you have also highlighted. But now, people are really asking which political party are you going with, that is in Kibra? As one of the key things people have really understood that if you master exactly the act within Kibra, you need to have that is the ODM party. Have you tried any attempt, or what is exactly which party are you going with? That is within
Okay,
that.
that's also a very interesting question. Uh, what I'll say is this to my Kibera people, to my mothers in Kibra, our fathers in Kibera, our young brothers in Kibra, and our age mates in Kibra. I will say that we've seen a system to which we elect leaders based on political party, but has it worked? That's my question to my Kibera people. So if it hasn't worked, then why go the same route? I'll leave that question to my Kibera people. Yes.
Let me ask you one of the last questions from my side. The other time we saw you exactly working that is in Kibra and also interacting with other people so far,
Yeah.
that is within Kibra, the creative. We have seen you exactly at Kibera Art District. What is this that you learned about Kibra during that time, having that indeed you had officially announced that indeed you are vying for that is 2027, that is the Member of Parliament Kibra constituency seat?
Hmm. So on my visit to Kibra, I've indeed seen a change. I've indeed seen Positive change and negative change, they are almost in the same level. What do I mean by that? I've seen the increase or the influx of drug abuse. Okay, I've seen the influx of early teenage pregnancies. I've seen also an influx in youths who want to empower themselves in regards to playing football. I've also seen an influx in youths who are taking the mantle into doing some things that can be self-sustainable. But I don't want this ratio to be 50-50. I would want to see more of the positive than the negative. So what will I do? And based on what I've learned is this: Kibera people are people who are visionarians. Kibera youths are people who have ability to change if we hold their hands. What are we going to do? We're going to change the negative and make it become a positive through empowering the negative and making them join the positive. So what I'm going to do based on what I've learned in Kibera is that they've not lost hope. That's one thing that I love about Kibera. We don't lose hope, regardless of any circumstances, any economical deprivation, any political instability, or all the things I've also seen regarding sanitation and everything. All the problem that we're currently facing in Kibera, they've not lost hope. And the way they've not lost hope, they are the one who are fueling me to be able to show them that indeed we're going to champion this together. So yes, the time that I visit Kibra, I saw two sides of the coin, and I want the coin to only have one positive side. So help me God, we're going to make that possible.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mheshimiwa, lastly, we'll talk about insecurity and also the health sector. One of the key things people have talked about is insecurity, the rising case of insecurity. With my side of view, people will want to know exactly what are the criteria in case you happen to get an opportunity to be elected.
Yeah.
What are the criteria you're going to use to make sure you handle this kind of the issues to do with insecurity? We are also having the issue with uh, that is health, where the medicines are not there.
I know there.
Like one of the areas that was really talked about was Kianda, that is level 3 hospital. What are the criteria or measures are you going to put in place to make sure that these kind of situations are handled carefully, and also to curb also insecurity within the area?
That's a very, very good question too. In matters pertaining security or insecurity that is currently being faced in Kibra, I'll say, I would actually say that some of these things can easily be curbed. And how are we going to curb this? Is through working with the youth leaders. So I'm looking forward to work with the youth leaders, visit some of the existing organizations, come up with a tailor-made program, okay, to be able to curb insecurity. Remember, when we talk about insecurity, it covers a lot. But now let's talk about the youth, because it's not like our mothers are the ones who are insecure. It is those youths who are lacking opportunity that are making life miserable because they also want to survive. You understand? So, how are we going to curb insecurity? I think the best way is once we empower our youths. We're going to empower our youth through helping them have the right channel to be able to be responsible in the society, to be able to be each other's keeper. You get me? So I'm going to work with existing platforms that are there with the youths, which is come up with tailor-made solutions to which we can even have example. Maybe if it's just a symposium or a day of talking to the youth, and no, you've one time stolen from someone. Someone has stolen someone's heart, but someone is stealing money from someone using violence. Definitely, it's causing insecurity. This person who's engaging themselves into these acts is because they lack opportunities. So I think through these tailor-made informations or tailor-made solutions that we're going to have, we'll be able to curb the insecurity that we are currently facing in Kibra. So I will work with existing bodies, if they are there, to be able to raise these problems, talk about how we can find solutions. I have some ideas, but I will not say that I'm all smart to have all the ideas. I will also want to listen to the youths who are already facing the same thing. Yes, this person has been into this thing. The guy wants to be rehabilitated. He has ways to which they can say, I want you to help me in this way. I want to listen to these youths who've been affected, who have done the bad, and be able to find a proper solution. So yes, we are gonna fight the insecurity in Kibera, and that is through empowering our youths. Yes, please.
Talk to your people of Kibra ahead of exactly. First, lastly, before we reach that point, how available are you for the people of Kibra? Because most of the people tend to believe that indeed there is a speculations. I'll talk about speculations. They are alleged
Yeah.
that the current is like based in exactly just in one word, and forgetting that indeed there is other words. How available are you for the people of Kibra?
I am omnipresent. You see, Kibera is in my heart. Kibera ni nyumbani. And regardless of whichever ward you're coming from, I believe that you all need equal opportunities. You all need equal, you all have things that you need to raise. So I will work, I cannot necessarily say I'll be at Makina today in few hours. I'm also in Kianda or all those places. But I'll work with the youths that are available in all those areas for us to be able to at least hear some of their concerns, okay, and be able to find a solution. So yes, I will be available. I wouldn't just want to be biased and work on one word. That is why I said something earlier on. Remember, if you're voting based on a political party, has it really worked? And if it is through a political party, then that's when you see someone is going to be biased. They say, okay, I got more votes from this word, then I'm going to be focusing on this word. That is not how we're going to be looking at this thing. At this point in time, we're going to work with all the wards. I'm going to work with the youth leaders of all the wards for us to have a solution for the entire Kibra, for our mothers, our younger children, and our fathers. Yes.
There is a cry that indeed most of the people are not ready. They are not ready to go to that is DC or to that is exactly those areas to get IDs. So one of the key things also is a challenge to the people is about the ID. How are you going to tackle the issue of the ID? Because most of the people are really refraining from going to DC because yeye kama young person anaona ni kama ataulizwa maswali mengi. How are you going to tackle such kind of situation so that indeed our boys are able to get that is all these?
Okay. Oh, that's a good question. That's a very, very brilliant question. You see, thing regarding the ID, it's to be honest, I've had it for the first time. I don't want to lie and be a politician who say yes, I've heard about it, because I remember me getting my ID. It was very streamlined. So if there's a change that has already happened that is making people not get the IDs, we are. Oh, basically, I will be able to also visit DC, and the Huduma Center that is currently available there, right? I'll be able to visit there and see, is it because of the vetting process? Is it that they're asking people too much question that is making it impossible for them to do that? So yes, we'll be able to try, and I'll basically go to DC myself, and I think even that time that I'll be going there and even let you know. So I find out why is it difficult for the youth to get an ID, and also I'll talk to the youth and ask them, how is it possible that it's difficult for you to get an ID? Sawa. So I will definitely look into that and also come up with a solution. For now, I've not yet gone to DC to find out, but that will be my first mission. I promise that.
So Mheshimiwa,
Yeah.
just talk to your people of Kibra. Tell them something. What do you
Okay.
have to tell them
Kibera people.
as we're heading to Valentine?
Okay. Uh, so Kibera people, sijui Sheng sana, lakini ninaweza nikasema hivi, hii Kibera ni yetu. Tukitaka maendeleo Kibera, tuache kuangalia ukabila, tuache kuangalia mtu ametoka wapi, amekaa aje. Angalia kwanza solution ambayo, angalia kwanza shida ambazo tunapitia. Tunapitia shida gani kama Kibera? Angalia sasa hivi hata shule ni very expensive. Shule iko very expensive, sio ati ni kuna kitu imebadilika, ni the system ambazo imewekwa inafanya ngumu sana kwa it's very difficult for a parent to easily have or to cater for the educational need for the child. So what I'm telling my Kibera people is this: I have heard your cry. I am your child. I am your son. I am your brother. I am your uncle. I want you to hold my hand as I hold your hand. Let us make sure that we have this change. I cannot just make the change alone if you don't hold my hand. I want you to hold my hand and also believe in me, as Kibera is home. Katokera ni nyumbani, Kianda ni nyumbani, Karanja ni nyumbani, all those places are home. So don't lose hope. Tunakuja kuweka mabadiliko Kibra. Tuko pamoja, niko na nyinyi. And I wish you, for those who are wanapenda mapenzi, I wish you happy Valentine. Thank you.
Mheshimiwa, there is a question that I asked, in terms of political party.
Yeah.
Will you be vying with a certain political party, or will you be vying as like an independent candidate? As per now,
because we've seen what has happened with political parties, I would want to try a solo approach. Maybe through my team, I'll also see if maybe in the future we can have our own political party. But for now, let us make the change that we need. Yes.